So we are going to start with the man, Mr. Donald J. Trump, who sent out a really, really classic. I don't know what they call them on Truth Social. This wasn't on X, but he put out quite a Christmas message to the world. Merry Christmas to all, including crooked Joe Biden's only hope, deranged Jack Smith, the out-of-control lunatic who just hired outside attorneys fresh from the swamp. Unprecedented to help him with his poorly executed witch hunt against Trump and MAGA. I got to say, if you take an interest in serial killers, the way he's using his caps and the phrasing, it's a little Son of Sammy. Included also are world leaders, both good and bad, but none of which are as evil and, quote, sick. See, this is what I'm saying. That's very serial killer to put sick in quotes for no reason. It means something very profound to him. As the thugs we have inside our country who, with their open borders, inflation, again, all caps, Afghanistan surrender, Green New Scam, high taxes, no energy independence, woke military, Russia/Ukraine, Israel/Iran, all electric car lunacy, and so much more are looking to destroy our once great USA, all caps. May they rot in hell again. Merry Christmas. God bless him. All right. So what are your thoughts on that, Tusker?
I think he's the funniest president we've ever had. And, you know, from that standpoint, there is just a certain amount of me that really misses him being in office. Can you put that truth back up?
The Truth Social?
Yeah, I don't know what we're calling it. It's not
it's the truth. It is the truth.
The one thing that kind of strikes me is I don't really know his intention is the capitalizing the Trump and the MAGA thing. I know you're talking about like it's being kind of serial killer, but it almost seems like he's trying to like it just needed that little copyright C after it, like Trump movement, copyright, MAGA movement, copyright is almost how it felt to me. And I wonder if he is essentially making the connection that the prosecution of him is the prosecution of his supporters or his base.
Well, of course. I mean, that's how he's always played it. That's where his detractors are not entirely wrong, that there are echoes of fascism's greatest hits in his demagoguery. He definitely falls back on a lot of that my victimhood is your victimhood tone that you so often associate with Hitler and Mussolini, these, fascist dictators. So he's definitely playing on those grievances. It's the policies of the liberal class, as it was in Weimar Germany, that opened the door to this kind of an appeal. It's not that Trump is not. I don't want to feed into the overblown rhetoric. There are certainly differences with Donald Trump. I don't look at Donald Trump and see, oh, this guy is Hitler. I say, maybe by way of Borscht Belt comedy, kind of a fascist dictator, but he wouldn't know what to do with autocratic powers if you gave them to him. That is why I've always said someone like Ron DeSantis, if you want to talk about somebody who has the potential to really set up an autocratic system, look to him, not Donald Trump.
Well, I think in order to set up an autocratic system under our current form of government, you would have to have someone that was establishment in order so that they knew really how to work that system from the inside, which Trump does not, and which he showed with his presidency. Right. Having essentially like people like John Bolton, Mike Pompeo, just all these sort of military, these MIC kind of goons that wafted in and out of his, cabinet and just various positions in his government. So I think probably a lot of his base, what they're really hoping for in Trump, perhaps getting back in office, getting that presidency again, is that maybe he's wiser about some of those pitfalls that he wasn't expecting whenever he first got in office, and they're hoping he can avoid some of those.
Maybe this is something we've been meaning to do a deep dive into for a while, but the apocalypse potentially erupted in the Middle East, so that's been taking up most of our time on the air. The Project 2025 thing is something I would like to take a look at, and for anybody who's not familiar with it, I think it was the Heritage Foundation. They came up with a plan so that the deep state and the permanent bureaucrats can't thwart the next Republican president's agenda. They want to go in and basically do the Godfather baptism scene and whack everybody and replace them with loyalists. Now, it's unclear if that's entirely legal. They're going with a unitary executive theory of the powers of the president, which is the theory they always want to go with when they're in power, not so much when they're not. You're going to hear a lot about this coming from the Democratic side. You probably already are, but they're really going to start harping on it once there's a nominee. But the question is Trump going to be as hampered as he was last time? And even if he isn't, it's not clear to me that he would know what to do with power anyway. He likes to go up and make jokes. He likes the crowd. He likes to be adored.
Please clap.